Home Minister P. Chidambaram breathing a huge sigh of relief. The Special Court Judge O.P. Saini dismissing Subramanian Swamy's plea to make Chidambaram a co-accused in the 2G case. A surprised Dr. Swamy saying he will now appeal the verdict in the High Court within 3 months. The Congress claiming victory, saying its stand has been vindicated. In fact, the man of the moment, Subramanian Swamy, is joining us. Appreciate your joining us, Mr. Swamy. Do you concede this has been a setback, sir?
No, not at all. Because this is not the first time that I have lost on the 2G matter at a lower court and then got relief at the higher court. In the Delhi High Court on the sanction question I lost. I went up to the Supreme Court and got a wonderful order. On the license cancellation, same thing. Then we also had the question of the monitoring, which Prashant Bhushan took up, and I participated in that. And that was also agreed in the Supreme Court, but not in the High Court. So in a legal battle, this is part of the game. But I would say, let me say one thing now.
Yes. That
the order that I have not fully read, the Saini has said he said it very specifically. Yes, Mr. Swamy's documents do show that Chidambaram participated with Mr. Raja in determining the price at 2001. Yes, it is true that Mr. Chidambaram participated with Raja in the share dilution. But how does that prove that he had a criminal intent? My opinion is that is the
sir,
wrong
but your plea was for criminal intent. So let's be honest. Your plea was that Mr. Chidambaram made a co-accused and there was criminal intent. He was part of a conspiracy.
Let me say that my arguments were for prima facie. That if the two people get together,
yes, and
one of them you have already charged,
yes,
that you have committed a criminal offence,
yes,
for fixing the price at 2001,
yes,
and you have also allowed share dilution before they roll out,
yes,
you have charged Mr. Raja. Now therefore the criminality is established.
But that was rejected.
Now the two of them,
sir, but that was rejected. Your attempt to link Raja and Chidambaram was rejected.
No. He has accepted that the two of them decided together. But he wants now me to tell, he says, but I didn't show how that is criminal. Yes. Now that is to be shown in a trial. It can't be shown at the prima facie stage.
But sir,
in the prima facie, in the trial stage,
sure,
I'm sorry, this is a trial stage thing.
Sir, correct me if I'm wrong.
Saini has made a mistake.
Sir, correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah. You made two pleas. You had two prayers. One was to make Mr. Chidambaram a co-accused. The other was to say that the CBI must probe Mr. Chidambaram. On both counts, Judge Saini has dismissed your petition. So, effectively, Mr. Chidambaram in that sense gets a clean chit on the criminal culpability.
Please, this is it's a total misunderstanding.
Yes.
I have not asked Saini to ask CBI to probe him at all. In fact, he has no power. Only he's got a power now. Yes, only co-accused.
Yes.
And for that, I have to prove a prima facie case. So the first stage is a summons is issued and he is asked to be present in court. Now there I have to show, and I have given him several Supreme Court judgments. All I had to show is that short of rebuttal,
yes,
without rebuttal, if it can be inferred that two people got together and made a decision which was criminal.
Yes. The
decision was criminal because Raja has been accused of that. It has been held in the trial court by Mr. Saini himself.
Sir, but
that Raja is, the charges have been framed against
Sir, but a prima facie case has not been found against Mr. Chidambaram. If a prima facie case had been found against Mr. Chidambaram, he would have been made a co-accused in the case. That plea has been rejected.
Listen, so what? He could be wrong. The judge is wrong.
No,
I have produced enough prima facie evidence which he himself says that I have established.
But in that sense, it's a setback.
Two of them decided together.
Sir, in that sense, it's a setback because you wanted him to be a co-accused and you said there was a prima facie case against him. The court has said and rejected your plea. Why not accept that and say I will appeal in the higher court? I accept it's a setback. I'll appeal a higher court.
I will accept. I will accept only it's a setback if the High Court and the Supreme Court both reject my plea.
So
not before that.
So for you, the battle has only begun.
Just because I lose a battle doesn't mean I'm going to lose the war.
No,
you go through the history of wars, you will find that many times a battle has been lost, but the war has been won.
Sir, but a few days ago you were saying this is D-Day for Mr. Chidambaram. You even this morning tweeted saying I'm on the beaches of Normandy, all set to storm.
I'm saying, yeah, Berlin.
Yes.
I am saying today that Mr. Justice Saini's order is wrong.
You're saying it's wrong, but would you concede, and you are a senior figure in public life, that there comes a time when everyone has to take one step back, retreat and accept, yes, maybe as of today, under the eyes of the law, ultimately the law is supreme, under the eyes of the law, Mr. Chidambaram is not an accused in the 2G scam. Let's be clear.
No, this is not a final order. The order is not final till the Supreme Court pronounces on it.
That's
then only it becomes
appeal.
a final order.
Sure, sir, that's pending appeal, but as of today, on this day of February, Mr. Chidambaram is not a co-accused in the 2G scam. Would that be fair to say?
That's all. That's about all. That he's not a co-accused doesn't mean that he's not guilty.
Mr. Kapil Sibal says,
a clean sheet,
Mr. Kapil Sibal says the Congress has been vindicated, that they always knew from day one that Mr. Chidambaram was not guilty, and that Mr. Swamy was using the media to target Mr. Chidambaram as part of a political battle.
Well, you see, Mr. Kapil Sibal should not be quoted by you. It devalues your status.
No,
because he has said outrageous things like there's zero loss.
Yes.
He has said that licenses cannot be cancelled. There's nothing wrong with it. There are some procedural problems which I'll have it corrected.
Yes.
Now the Supreme Court has pronounced on it. How can you go by Mr. Sibal
but
says?
How do you then respond when the Congress says...
congressman, he will say...
No, even Ambika Soni says the Congress has been vindicated. How do you respond to this?
Ambika Soni,
that the party has been vindicated.
Ambika Soni's role in the emergency, we all know. And how she was thoroughly exposed.
Sir, but would you
how she betrayed Sanjay Gandhi afterwards.
So how do you respond to those who say the Congress and Chidambaram have been vindicated today?
They can claim anything.
Yes.
They have got to face the next battle,
yes.
and that is in the High Court or the Supreme Court.
Yes.
And it can only be final when goes there. They may claim anything. They have been claiming all kinds of things in the past also.
How soon do you intend to go to the High Court,
even
sir?
Even with Raja, they said that nothing is wrong.
How soon?
It is all past policy.
How soon do you intend to go to the High Court?
I've got under the law, I've got 3 months.
Right.
And I will study it.
Dr.
Study the orders.
Dr. Swamy, even in the Thursday order, there is one interpretation that a distinction has been made between A. Raja and Mr. Chidambaram and the others. That the criminal culpability and the implementation of the policy was Mr. Raja's wrongdoing. Mr. Chidambaram and others tried to convince Mr. Raja to change his mind. He overruled them. Therefore, there is no judicial pronouncement as of today that implicates Mr. Chidambaram. Would you concede that?
No. That Supreme Court, don't put words in the mouth of the Supreme Court. They only said that Mr. Raja did not consult the finance minister and finance secretary because he knew what the finance secretary had written.
Yes.
But that's a further indictment of Mr. Chidambaram.
Right.
Because since both of them were empowered to decide the matter together, if Mr. Raja didn't consult them, Mr. Chidambaram should have immediately asked for a cabinet meeting.
Sure.
I don't think that has any. This is all a spin that has been done on that.
Sir, but Dr. Swamy,
you didn't. You see, there was. Let's just stop you a minute.
Yes.
My petition.
Yes.
Had no prayer that Mr. Chidambaram is guilty in the allotment of the licenses. My allegations have always been that he participated with Raja in a criminal conspiracy to fix the price at 2001.
Yes.
And then he permitted the share dilution so that these people could,
but that's been rejected.
They could sell the licenses.
But that's been rejected.
That has been rejected in what?
Yes.
What has been rejected?
Your attempt to suggest that Mr. Raja and Mr. Chidambaram were in a criminal conspiracy and therefore Mr. Chidambaram should be made a co-accused has been rejected by a trial court.
That is not final. I reject the trial court rejection.
Sir, but you placed various documents before the trial court, including correspondence that took place at the time. All that has been seen by the judge. The judge has evaluated it on the facts, on the merits. On the merits, your plea has been rejected, not on procedural grounds, but purely on merits. It is a setback.
No, not that way. Well, you may want to use the word setback.
Yes.
Because I don't accept any setbacks unless it is final.
Sure.
It is not a final thing. Tomorrow this gets turned around, then this setback was a transitory thing. So therefore, the question is, did Mr. Saini say that I was not able to prove that Raja and Chidambaram decided the price together at 2001? He did not say that. In fact, he says it is yes.
No, but
that means the government has The government is responsible.
But the criminal
it is not
intent.
a Raja decision.
So the criminal intent. Forget the policy. There's a distinction between policy and criminal intent. At no stage has Justice Saini found criminal intent. The word I'm using it deliberately, criminal intent, because this is a trial before a criminal court. There was no criminal intent that has been found as of now.
Well, let me tell you that I have shown that the two of them got together.
Yes.
Prima facie, they suggest that the two of them conspired.
Yes.
Because they did it together in 4 meetings.
In which case
now,
your plea should have been accepted. In which case your plea should have been accepted.
That's correct. Accepted, correct. And he should have in the trial asked me, prove that this was that there was a criminal intent.
And he rejected
I don't have to prove criminal intent at this stage.
Yes, yes. Just a minute, Dr. Swamy, Gopal Jain, who's a lawyer, has a point to make. Yes, Gopal.
Short point is the application is rejected. Therefore, there is a non-starter insofar as Mr. Chidambaram is concerned. Second, Mr. Swamy is only saying, I live to fight another day. But it means the material he placed before the trial court, it did not even consider it sufficient to issue a summons to Mr. Chidambaram.
So would you concede that you only lived to fight another day? The material was not even enough to even issue a summons against Mr. Chidambaram?
I don't consider that to be a correct assessment. I consider the order of the Justice Saini to be wrong.
Right.
That's why I am appealing.
Sure.
I am not going to add any more material in the appeal.
No.
I am going to argue on the same material.
The same material. That's the problem. To that extent, this is a setback.
That is not a problem.
That you haven't got any additional evidence.
Oh, I don't need to. If a order is wrong, just like in the sanction matter, I didn't produce any new material in the Supreme Court.
Yes.
On the cancellation of license, I didn't produce any new material.
But
therefore, you cannot.
I keep harping on the point.
If an order is wrong,
sir,
if an order.
Yes. If an order is wrong.
If an order is wrong.
Yes.
Then there is no question of my accepting that I didn't produce enough evidence.
So would you at least concede that Mr. Chidambaram today has no reason to resign, because there was a feeling that Mr. Chidambaram should resign on moral grounds? That principle no longer exists. The BJP has even been boycotting him. At least let's be honest politically. He may be your rival. Do you concede?
BJP boycott. No, BJP boycott in parliament has got to do with parliamentary norms.
Yes.
Sometimes you can find somebody unworthy of being a minister.
Yes.
Even though the courts have not held him to be guilty.
Yes.
We have done that in many cases.
Right.
Even Mrs. Gandhi was convicted and sent to jail, but it was not a court decision.
Sir, but would you accept?
Breach of privilege is not a court matter.
I must persist. Would you accept that Mr. Chidambaram today has no reason to resign on moral grounds at least? Forget it, on legal grounds, it's very clear he has no reason to resign.
Of course he does. Of course he does.
On
because he misled Raja. The trial court says that the trial, excuse me.
Yes.
You asked me about moral grounds. You didn't ask me about criminal grounds. Okay.
Yes. Okay.
In the moral ground, the trial court has accepted that Mr. Chidambaram and Mr. Raja together decided this matter.
And you will concede
on the price question.
And you will concede that on legal grounds, Mr. Chidambaram has no reason to resign. You will concede the law today.
No. There is no question of legality here. As far as Parliament is concerned, it's a question of whether he deserves to be a minister or not in the eyes of the parliamentarians.
Sir,
it's got nothing to do with Supreme Court or High Court decisions.
Sir,
this is something which they are independently decided.
Sir, you made the point consistently that Mr. Chidambaram turned a blind eye to what was going on or actively colluded. Either turned a blind eye or more importantly in your case, you said he actively colluded.
No blind eye.
That has you said active collusion.
Colluded.
Yeah, that didn't happen. The court rejected that. Let's be honest. The court rejected your argument of collusion.
That is your opinion based on Mr. Saini's order.
That's right.
I consider Mr. Saini's order to be flawed.
But till the other day, Mr. Saini was seen as the person you had reposed all hope in. He's ultimately the judge. Now, here the judge gives an order. Should we not give the judge that minimum respect?
I do believe he is a very fine judge.
Can we turn a blind eye to the order?
Honesty, but Mr. Rajdeep Sardesai can be wrong, but I can still hold him in high opinion.
No, of course. That's well put. But can we at least concede? I'm glad you are holding me in high opinion, Dr. Swamy. But I'm just asking. At the end of the day, would you concede that a judge's opinion must be respected? Today, at the end of the day, what Judge Saini has done, let's respect it. The political battle can be fought. There's a legal battle that you say will continue. But as of today, as of this day of February 4th, 2012, would you concede that Mr. Chidambaram has every reason to continue as Home Minister, has every reason to feel vindicated that there is no criminal charge or criminal taint against him?
Well, that's a very, very narrow way of looking at it. I was never asking him to resign the way the people in Parliament are asking him. Parliament, they hold him morally unfit to be a Home Minister of the country.
But you were calling for his resignation. You've been calling for Mr. Chidambaram's resignation for the longest time.
I am. I can say that Al Capone was a murderer even though no court convicted him.
So, are you saying that, that the credibility question still remains? That's the point you're still making.
I am saying that absolutely. When it has been conceded by Justice Saini that the two of them decided the price, and Mr. Raja is in jail and he is outside on whatever technicality Mr. Justice Saini has found,
yes,
which I don't accept.
And you don't.
I think the moral question still remains.
And you don't think that the fact that the judgment has been given in the way it affects your own credibility? There are the likes of Narayan Swamy who are saying Subramanian Swamy had a vendetta against Chidambaram, which is why he took this matter to the trial court, even though the evidence under a criminal case was not enough.
All right, I'll do. There are so many TV channels. I'll do one more question.
Yeah, my final question: are you feeling today a bit let down? Are you feeling that this is a setback? I keep asking: do you feel let down, and do you feel this has been a setback for you?
I'm a fighter, and I never feel let down. I am doing my duty, and I've done it well.
Okay, Subramanian Swamy, appreciate your joining us.